Hey everybody, good morning. Today I wanted to do a mom-to-mom little connection, little visit about asking your village for help. And this is one area where I have a lot of trouble with. And so I wanted to give you guys an example of something that we just went through. Maybe you guys can relate and give you some little tips. So first off, you guys know we have a 2-year-old. Felix just turned 2 in January, and he had discovered that he can, get out of his crib. So a little bit before he turned 2, we had switched him from the crib to the toddler bed. So this created a huge issue, which we've never had this issue with any of our other kids. He would not stay in his bed. So he loves to sleep with us. He needed to fall asleep in our bed. And honestly, it was extremely exhausting because my husband would spend probably about anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours every night trying to get him to go to sleep. And so he would typically fall asleep between 9:30, 9:45 at night, which means we were either already sleeping or too exhausted to even say hello to one another. And so it can get really hard for the other kids because they want some attention. It's hard for you to have a conversation with your spouse, right, when you got this little one that you're constantly trying to get to sleep. So a couple weekends ago, my husband and I went for a long weekend in Fargo, and my mom had the kids. And the first night, after the first night, she was like, oh yeah, Felix just went right to bed. I laid him in there, and he slept the whole night through, never woke up. And when he did wake up finally in the morning, he sat reading books. And we were like, you've got to be kidding me. And so she said, well, maybe it's just a fluke. But it happened the next night and then the next night again. And it made us realize, we were like, why did we not do this earlier? Why didn't we have, first of all, a plan in place? But we just, honestly, we had never dealt with that with our other kids. And maybe that's one of the benefits of me having 5 kids, is that I realized no 2 kids are alike. They're all so different. What works for one or what worked for 4 of our kids did not work for the last one. So what I really want to talk to you guys about is really asking that village, those people around you, for help, and sometimes doing it sooner than what we sometimes like to. I don't necessarily like to ask for help with those things. I'm super stubborn, and sometimes I feel like it's not going to get done the right way. And maybe some of you guys can relate to that. You think that you have to do it all yourself, and I am totally the same way. I like to do things myself. I like to do them a certain way so that I know that they're getting done and they're getting done right. But I have heard so many moms out there talking about how they haven't had a date night in over a year with their spouse. Things like that. You guys, ask your village, right? They always say it takes a village. But ask the people around you for help. Ask them to watch your kids while you take a date night. Or maybe you guys can switch off and on. Do not wait until it's too late. Make sure that you're asking your village for help. Maybe you need help with laundry. Maybe you need just a night by yourself for or just an hour so that you can go shopping, grocery shopping. I have unfortunately had to ask my village for help a lot, dropping off kids and picking up. Sometimes between my husband and I, we can't be in 3 places at once. So we have to rely a lot of times on our friends who are going to be picking up their kids. Maybe it's even little things, you guys, where I call upon my village is when we're at games for our kids. Sometimes I have to ask my friends to take my kids to the bathroom because I've got Felix or other little ones that I'm trying to watch. And that probably is the easiest thing to ask for is, can you take them to the bathroom, or can you watch my other kids while I take this one to the bathroom? I have had to ask that so many times, and I'm so appreciative because I don't want to take all of them into this bathroom, into one little stall, just so one can go to the bathroom. But little things, that would be that for me. Even though it's a little thing, it's a huge thing. But even just watching your kids, switching off, like I said, with date nights, you watching their kids one night and then you switch the next night. Maybe it's potty training. What worked for one of mine did not work for the next, and everything like that. So let me just read this 1 second. You only have one. I know, it's so crazy. Or what worked for one, what really worked, our first one was such a great sleeper, never had an issue. sitting him down for nap, for nighttime, nothing. Our second one was a little bit more difficult, but it is crazy how different kids are and how just somebody else sometimes stepping in and doing it for a few nights gets them on that routine, changes everything. And so we really did need to call on our village in that case, or we'd still be up till almost 10 o'clock just getting him to try and go to sleep. But the big thing that I want to mention, you guys, is don't feel bad. Do not feel bad about asking for help. We all need to ask for help. And if there's a member of your village that makes you feel bad about asking for help, they probably shouldn't be a part of your village. If they're making you feel bad because you're asking for help, and I know a lot of moms in our office will say they feel bad asking for help, but it's not always that they feel bad asking for help. It's the reaction they get from the person that they're asking to help them. So sometimes we don't always get the nicest of responses, but don't be afraid to keep asking for help, because it is really important that we're getting that help. You shouldn't feel bad about it. The other person shouldn't make you feel bad about it. Don't be stubborn like me. Ask for help, and usually ask for help sooner than what you think you're gonna need it. So hope you guys can relate. Hope I'm not alone in all of that. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye.